Today on the show we're going to talk about 3 buyer strategies to negotiate repairs when you're under contract on a house. Today we want to talk about strategies that are going to help you get to the closing table and have a smooth closing. And one of the things that always happens is once we get the inspection report back, we get a 40 to 60 page report back, and there's just a ton of things in there. Inspectors are going to go through every part of that house. And so, if you're new to as a buyer and haven't gone through that process, but even if you're a seasoned, buyer, every house is going to look different on a report. So, these 3 tips that I'm going to give you today are just kind of 3 things that are going to help this simplify the transaction in this part of the deal. So the first thing that I want to talk about is basically be reasonable. You're not buying a new construction home in this case. It's a house that's been lived in by somebody. It may be an older house. The age of the house is going to determine a lot of the things about what to expect and what to let go and what not to. So the first thing is going in with a mindset of, okay, I know that I got to be reasonable and we can't fix everything on a 60-page report. Just not going to happen, and the seller's not going to do it. So that'd be the first tip. The second tip that we want to talk about is, you want to consider the option of getting a credit in lieu of repair. And one of the reasons that you want to do that is if we submit a repair request, we're counting on the seller to do what they need to do. We're going to go back and check the work, of course, but if you get a credit in lieu of repair, then you have the option of having your own contractor do the work. You can oversee the work and make sure that it's done to your specifications. So that's something we always like to consider, whether we're on the seller side or buyer side. Whoever's getting that end product, it's sometimes good that they have that option. And so that would be the second thing that we would talk about. And the third thing that we want to make sure that we do is when things come up and we're trying to figure out what we need to fix, what we don't need to fix, is we need to get quotes. Because just us guesstimating, oh, this will cost this will cost that, and totaling it up in our heads, it may not tell the whole story. So if we have things, particularly structural items, safety items, water intrusion, those are the big 3 that we want to make sure that if there are issues, we want to get somebody out there, a licensed contractor that is specialized in that area, to give us a quote of what it would take to remedy that. So that's really what we want to make sure, so that we do that on the front end, so that once we get a true and accurate cost of what it will be to cure that remedy, then what we're going to do is take that to the seller and we're going to negotiate that, whether it's the seller fixing it or we're doing the credit in lieu of repair. So that's typically how that works, and that's what we want to do to try and simplify the process for you as a buyer. And so hopefully that'll put your mind at ease and get you through the process, because it can get a little hairy on some of these deals, but we want to walk you through it and make sure that you're in the best position to have a smooth transaction and a great home to live in for a lot of years. So hope that helps you today, and we'll talk to you soon.